Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report with, are you ready for this? A new research methodology. It's called swarm intelligence. Remember that you heard it here first. And then we'll look at data that seems to demonstrate that Twitter is not a very reliable predictor of election outcomes, despite some information to the contrary about a year and a half ago. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by L&E Research, where recruiting is their passion. And so they say a quality respondent plus quality information, it's that simple. MarketingProfs.com published a composition from Louis Rosenberg, PhD. He's the CEO of Unanimous AI. And he wrote about something that he called swarm intelligence. And he said it trumps polls and focus groups. Market researchers are in a bind, Rosenberg wrote, forced to choose between flawed information that's gathered through online polls and surveys or expensive information that can be brought together through old-fashioned focus group. So Rosenberg proposes swarm intelligence, which he says is a workable substitute, a new method that understands large online populations. Here's his description. Users forming online swarms that can think together in real time form a unified collective intelligence and converges on the sentiments that they can all best agree upon. Rosenberg said it is modeled after Mother Nature, which he described as where social species pool their collective knowledge, wisdom, and intuition and turn all of that into a rapid, optimized decision that harnesses group intelligence as a flexible living system. And that is in opposition to a set of crude polling data, which is what we have now for most research. Rosenberg said he believes swarm intelligence will appeal to marketers because it produces unified sentiment of a group as opposed to average opinions of a group. His second reason is that this synchronous process is one where everyone responds together at the exact same time, and that there are no leaders or followers, and thus there is reduced social influence bias. A third reason, he says, for marketers to like it is that it collects data that is reflecting the simultaneous interactions from the full group population. And from that, market researchers, he suggests, can observe the decision-making process as it actually emerges. Finally, Rosenberg claimed that this often reveals trade-offs that are negotiated across the population, and it exposes the most important factors with each of the demographics. Oh, there is a fourth potential benefit. Swarm intelligence has the potential to help marketers to stay one step ahead of what consumers are looking for. Next, during the 2013 German federal election, Twitter data was said to be a more accurate measure of the level of interest in specific candidates than the level of support that they would receive in the election. However, that appears now to be a conclusion that was reached in haste. Researchers deliberating about Twitter, its user base, etc., and digging deeper into the situation have revealed how difficult it is to actually predict the outcome of an election strictly based on the amount of Twitter buzz for and about a candidate. Upon further review, it's now understood that the daily volume of Twitter messages referring to a candidate or a party fluctuates very heavily depending on the day's events. Things like new debates, in-depth interviews, and varied media coverage, any or all of which can tip things one way or another. One other very important consideration, Twitter users do not necessarily reflect population demographics. As a group, they are highly skewed and highly unrepresentative of the population. That's your Research Business Daily Report, where we've been sponsored today and this week by L&E Research, where recruiting is their passion. And so they say that a quality respondent and quality information, it's that simple. L&E Research has formulated what I think are some very interesting ideas about how to put all the elements together, both existing traditional elements and emerging considerations, so that you can reach the goal of getting a clearer picture of the whole truth in your research project. If you'd like to know more, we've created a link with LNE Research. It is in the email that goes out to our subscribers. It's also in the description box underneath today's video. Believe me, it is definitely worth your time and a look. We hope you have a great research day and that the rest of this week goes well for you. Enjoy this weekend, and we'll see you back here with us on Monday.